again, welcome. It's also an honor for me to be with you this hour. And the topic is action volley. And the question is, what is action volley? And action volley is, first of all, volleyball through the children's eyes. And that's a little bit different than when we look to volleyball as adults. And also action volley is also a little bit like also the approach to kids. And when we start with action volley, we start with 50 kids in my village, and we ended 3 years later with 200 kids. So something is good in action volley. And also action volley is developed on a Saturday morning in 50 minutes. So it's quite simple, but it works in the Netherlands. First, I want to introduce myself. My name is Remco Kenter from the Netherlands. I'm a boys trainer under 12. I'm the founder of Action Volley, the Dutch Volleyball Federation. I've with the Dutch Volleyball Federation an collaboration. So they use Action Volley for workshops and things like that. A few weeks ago, I arranged also a small collaboration with the Norway Volleyball Federation. They want to use action volley in the mini volleyball courses. So next year I do some courses also in Norway. I did it also, but for 2023, there are more courses in Norway with action volley. In the past, I did a project, fundamental movement skills for the Dutch Olympic Federation. I'm a member of the coaches commission of the European Volleyball Federation, but we do not so much. So I start a Euro group for boys and volleyball, and also Anna is a member of it. And we try to inspire boys to play volleyball. So I'm married and I have 2 daughters. So that's me. First of all, I want to look with you to the structure of a volleyball club or a federation, and I think you can compare that with a building. And a building has a roof, walls, and a foundation. And when you look to a volleyball club, the roof are the first teams, is maybe top volleyball. The walls are the recreation teams, and the foundation are the youth teams. And the question is, when you look to a building, is there a roof without walls and without a foundation? I think the question is no. Is there a roof and are the walls without the foundation? Maybe, but it's not so stable, I think. So what's the most important part of a building? That's the foundation. And when you look to a volleyball club, the question is there top volleyball and is there recreation volleyball without youth volleyball? I don't think so. And so what's the most important part of a volleyball club or maybe a volleyball federation? And that's youth volleyball. But most of the time, the foundation is not so stable in volleyball. So I think you must make your foundation, your youth volleyball department, very stable. The question is how you can do that. And it's quite simple, I think, because when I do the trainings, I ask always kids what they want to do in the training. And I use the information. So they are a part of the training, they have input on the training and they like it. And that's normal in Holland, maybe also in Finland. So it's important that you ask children what they want to do in the training, because they come always back. And they are also the experts. We are adults and we think that we are, we think that we know what they want to do in the training. I don't think so, because I'm 51 and I'm a little bit older. So it's important that you come in their world and ask what they want to do in the training. And I think you can learn a lot from kids. They are the experts, and I think you can learn more from kids than from me or from other coach or I don't know, experts, something like that. So ask kids what they want to do in the training, and that's the key to success. And we grow from 50 kids to 200 kids. So our foundation is very stable. When you look to boys and girls in volleyball, that's also topic. There are more girls than boys. In Holland are 80% girls and 20% boys. By my club, when we started with 50 kids, we started with 5 boys and we ended with 85 boys. So the balance between boys and girls, it's okay. And it's also important that there is a good balance between boys and girls. Also when they are older, that you have also female and male referees, female and male players in other functions, so that there is a good balance. But there's also a difference between them. You see here on the screen a video. You see first of all the girls, and later you see the boys, and hopefully you can see it. So the girls do the same exercise as the boys. And there are the boys. It's in Dutch, but so you see the difference between them. So the girls do it exactly really good, and the boys, they do something, and at the end they understand what is necessary. So there are differences, but when you make exercises, I think I make all my exercises for boys, and I use it also by girls because girls are also cool, and so they are quite similar, but some things are different. But it's important that you also make your exercises cool for girls. A short example what I'm doing in my trainings. The question is this volleyball or not? But it's sometimes volleyball, sometimes not. And the other one. So a short overview what I'm doing in the training. When you look to the Action Volley program, there are 3 pillars. Pillar number 1 are the topics. Pillar number 2, the play forms. Pillar number 3 are the principles, and everything is based on the fundamental movement skills or multi-move. The topics are complete designed by kids. The 5 topics what you see, fun, cool, smash, score and games. That are the things well, the kids say to me, okay, that's important for us to do on the trainings. The play forms are different than our normal play forms in Holland, but I shall explain them. And also the principles, that's for coaches, that's for trainers. Some insights from Norway, the techniques, the tricks, space and learning. And again, everything is based on the fundamental movement skills or the multi-moves. And when you look to the fundamental movement skills, I think, and I know it's not the right word, but it's. I think the first thing in volleyball, when a kid is coming to training, you must learn them to move, and after that you learn them to be a sporter, and after that, hopefully, they make a choice for volleyball, because the first thing, move, is very important in volleyball. That the children are good movers. Yeah, and when they move to the ball or from the ball or something like that. And I think the better movers make also better decisions, and later they become better players. And what are the fundamental movement skills in Holland? That's walking, jumping, crawling, climbing, and all the other things what you see on the slides, even dancing and even swimming, but he is not on the slide because that's a little bit difficult indoor. Um, so when we look to the fundamental movement skills, and action volley is volleyball with the fundamental movement skills. In Holland, we have also the volleyball playground, and that are the fundamental movement skills with a little bit volleyball. But that's for really young kids from 2 years old till 5 years old. And when they are 5, 6 years old, they come in action volley, and that's more volleyball with some fundamental movement skills. So here, an example of volleyball with a fundamental movement skill. So, short example of volleyball with a fundamental movement skill. And when we look to the first topic, designed by kids, that's fun. It's for kids, very important, also for adults. I think that the trainings are nice, are funny, and that they have a lot of fun on the training. And I think you can do that with the give and take principle. And as example, when I, as a coach, throw the ball over the net, and I ask you as a player to play the ball with a bagger, then I take the bagger, and that's for me as a coach important. But you are coming to the training for one thing as a little kid, and that's smash the ball. And when we use the give and take principle, we have the same exercise. I throw the ball over the net to you. You play the bagger, that's my part. And after that, you can hit the ball over the net. And when a kid is very young, maybe he play catch and throw. So he catch the ball, he throw the ball in the air, and he may try to smash the ball over the net. So with the give and take principle, I think you can make a good deal with the kids, and they like it, and you like it because you have your own part. That's in this example the bagger, and you give them the smash, and that's their part. And you drive from the training back home, and I learn them to play the bagger, and the kids are going home and they say to the parents at home, I smashed the ball. So that's the give and take principle. And also the last part of a training must be always a party, and then they come always back. And I ask them always when they come back, please bring a friend with you, and then we make a party again. So and then you can grow with your youth department. This is an example of fun, but you saw them already in another video. So with the post-it, and they like it, and that's very important that they like it, and they come always back when they like your trainings. When you look to the topic cool, you see some cool Norway volleyball players, and somewhere far away from them you see the Dutch players. They're also cool, but the question is volleyball cool? And maybe we say, yeah, that's cool because we are volleyball coaches, volleyball players. But imagine yourself that you are a little kid and your parents say to you, okay, so you can go to maybe a handball training, to a football training, and to a volleyball training. And then when you do that, you can make your choice for a sport. And the kid is going to the handball training and he can throw the ball in the goal. And he think, I'm quite good. And he go to the football training and he kicked the ball in the goal because the goal is very big. And he think, I'm like Messi, so I'm very good. And then he go to my volleyball training, and I give him a balloon because that's handier for him, but that's not cool enough for the little boy. And he stand in a row, and I try to learn him techniques, and that's that's difficult in volleyball. And he go home, and I know for which sport he not go, and that's volleyball, because it's not cool enough. Because we want to try always to learn them techniques, and that's too difficult for little kids. So maybe he choose handball or football, but not volleyball. So I think we must make volleyball more cooler, with more cooler exercises, with more cool idols, with great events, things like that. But also use real balls, because the little kids, they want to play the real game in their vision. And I think when you give them the real game, that's not with a balloon, because a balloon is not cool. A balloon is for really little kids in the mind. So play it with real balls, and then you train also the real speed of the ball. That's also important. I think it's also important that you create cool exercises with some cool names. We play Powerball and Snapchat ball and TikTok ball, things like that, and they like it, and they can always score points with it. And then you can make it cool. Maybe also with some cool music on the training. So yeah, it's a very important topic for kids. The other and so this is an example of cool. They can show how strong they are, that they are stronger than the other one. So a little example of a cool exercise. It's quite simple most of the time, but it's important for them. Then the smash, that's also important for them. They told me they want to smash the ball, and that's also one of the reasons that they want to play volleyball. When children think about volleyball, they think about the smash, not to the set or to the defense or to the block. No, the set is the most important and popular technique in volleyball. The question is, what is the first technique what you learn the kids? Is that the bagger or maybe the serve? Because then you can score a point maybe. But maybe you remember the give and take principle. And then you can learn them the bagger, but also the smash in one exercise. It's also nice and also important for the kids that you ended an exercise with a smash. So when they play the bagger or maybe with the fingers, and after that, it's allowed to hit the ball over the net. So use the smash, give them the smash, because the smash is volleyball for them. This is an example of the smash. So you saw the fundamental movement skills, so the roll, and after that they play the bagger, the set, and the smash. But you can also translate it to catch and throw, and hit the ball over the net with a very low net level. So it's also important that you use and give them the smash. For kids, it's also important that they can score points on the training. For me, it's not important when they score points in the game, of that they're winning the game or losing the game. But for kids, it's important that they can count the points and that they can score points. So we used scorecards, 1 till 25, and at the other side, 26 till 50. And with a nipper, they can count their points and they can show me how many points they have. The girls, they do it really good. They do it 1, 2, 3, 4, and go on. And boys, that's different than girls. They do it 1, 6, 12, 50, and yeah, that's the different. But that's okay. So we use always exercises with points. So and then they can count the points. They can show how many points they have, and that's for them very important. This is an example of scoring. The little girl, she hits the ball at the, what's it called, the trampo, and after that she played the ball with the bagger in the blue bucket. But sometimes it's difficult, so they find another solution. and that's also a point. So quite simple, quite easy exercise, but they like it. And when they score a point, they run to the scorecard and they do the nipper to another number. For kids are games also important. Children likes games. I like games, so it's always good on the training. And for kids, it's also normal that they play games. And when they're at home and they are on the smartphone, they play also games with levels. So it's for them very normal that they play games. You can also create levels on your training. That's a little bit difficult to explain in a webinar, but I shall send Anna the levels, and that you can use on your training. And that means that they play with pars over the net. And the thing is, who is first by level 10? And that's nice. So I shall send it to Anna, and she can send it to you. And this is an example of a game in the warming up. So they must try to hit the big ball in the goal. So it's always nice to start a game. It's always nice to start your trainings with a game. And I think it's good. I do it also by adults. I start always with a game. And they like it. Then we go to the platforms. That's pillar number 2. And you see here a platform, and it's calling the hot seat. And the hot seat is coming from Norway. And when you look to the draw, you see five yellow players, and you see also 5 blue players. And the players, they play 1 against 1 till 5 points. And you see also one player of each team out of the field, and they are sitting on the hot seat. And the thing is, in this game, you play 1 against 1, and you play, as example, till 5. And as example, when the blue player wins with 5-3, he goes out, and the other one who's sitting on the hot seat goes in. But the yellow player, he was losing with 5-3, and he starts with 3-0. Hopefully it's a little bit clear. Normally, when we do a workshop, I do it also at the sport hall, and then it's really clear because you can see it and you can feel it. I've also the translation in English of the hot seat, so I can send it to you. And you can and then you can try it on your trainings. The kids like it because they have always the ball, and it's also 1 against 1, so they are a lot of moving. And then you can also use it with catch and throw when you have little kids. You can use it also by adults that they play in 1 time or in 3 times, things like that. And you can also play it like a smash ball form. And I have a short movie of a smash ball form. This is very popular in Holland. And it's allowed that he's touching the ground once, but they play 1 against 1. But I can imagine myself that's a little bit difficult to understand now, but I shall send you also the translation in English, and then maybe you can understand what I mean. Then there are 4 platforms, and they are really copied from Norway. And there are 4 levels: 1, 2, 3, 4. And level 1 is level red. And the kids are 5, 6 years old. They play on a badminton field, and it's quite simple. It's 3 times catch and throw. But level 1, we don't use it not so much because it's 3 times catch and throw, and it's not so fast. So the most kids start by kids volley level blue, and that's level 2. And it's for kids from 7 till 8 years old, but also when they're a little bit younger. And the ball is coming over the net. And the first and the second ball are catch and throw, but the third ball, it's with a set. So the first ball is catch and throw, second ball catch and throw, and then the third ball over the net they play with the fingers, like a set. But it's allowed to serve the ball with the underhand serve, but it's also allowed with the overhand serve. But that you do that from the backyard line. So when they can do something like an overhead serve, it's allowed. But it's coming from the backyard line. After that, they go to the kids volley green, and so the ball is coming over the net with an underhand serve or with an overhead serve. And so the first ball is a volleyball technique. The second ball, it's allowed to catch and throw. And the third ball is also a volleyball technique. So, and I think this is a very good level. They play in 3 touches, and everybody can enjoy because the second ball, it's allowed to catch and throw. And they learn also the bagger, also the serve, and a little bit introduction of the attack, because the third ball, it's also allowed to a little bit hit the ball or push the ball. And the last level is level orange, and that's for kids from 11 till 12 years. And that's complete volleyball with 3 times volleyball technique, and also the block is allowed. I think it's really complete volleyball, 3 against 3, all the levels, but it's also allowed that you play 2 against 3. When you are coming to a tournament of kids volley or action volley, and you have 4 players in your team, it's allowed to cut your team in 2 teams, and they play 2 against 3, 2 against 3, and so nobody is at the couch. Everybody's playing, and that's very important where kids are very young. So that are the 5 play forms. And when we look to the principles for coaches, in my opinion, our selections, rankings are not important. The only thing what's important is fun and that they learn something. So maybe also by the games, no referees. That's also in Holland a thing now, that we play without referees, and it's good. It's also important that the kids are playing. Also, when you are a coach of a little bit older kids, that they're playing, what's it called? That they play all the sets, so that everybody's playing. And it's also important that it's volleyball, but it's also more than volleyball, because volleyball is also a very social sport. And it's also important that everybody can enjoy the sport. And when you have time, maybe with Christmas, you can listen to the podcast of Martin Erikstad. He's from Norway, and he is talking about the football team of the famous Norway football player Haagland, something like that. And he's playing by Manchester United, and he's coming from a football team. And all his old teammates, they are still in football. And the question is, who is the most important player from that team? Is that Haagland, or are that the other players who still playing, maybe also at on a good level, but also on a lower level? And I think everybody is important. Also Haagland, he was very important for his club, but also his old teammates who now playing at a lower level, they are still a member of the club. Maybe they are a coach or a referee or a chairman, so they are also important. So everybody is important, not only the good players. So look also to the not so handy players. They are also very important. Also later for your club, they are important, because they are the chairman later, and they are the referees. And without referees, you can't play volleyball. You can't play volleyball. So I like that. Everybody is important. When you look to techniques, volleyball is a technical sport, and that's very important. That you also train techniques, but it must be also nice. And I don't say that our techniques are nice, but I think it's important that there is a good balance between fun and techniques. The question is, make you volleyball first of all fun and then training the techniques, or you train immediately techniques and hopefully they like the sport. That's the thing. And in Holland, we make volleyball first of all nice, and later when they are 8, 10 years old, we start with techniques. So the balance between techniques and fun is important. And also, my kids, when they were very young, they learned themselves walking, and that's the most important technique in life, walking, and they learn them by themselves. And my youngest daughter and also my oldest daughter, and she show us walking in our house, and they did it also. So they learn them by themselves, the most important technique in their life. So why is it so important that we train always technique, always technique, always technique? Because they can also learn them by themselves, some techniques. Another question is, how long is in one game, how long does a contact with the ball in the game? And maybe that's 3 seconds in totally. So why we train always a lot of techniques, when you touch the ball, maybe 3 seconds in a game. So that maybe you can think about it. Important also when you train techniques that every child has their own ball. So I think also enough balls is important. And also in technique, okay, you can train the fingers, you can train the bagger, but you must always train it in relation with the speed of the ball. So again, use the real ball and don't use some balloons or other balls. You can use it, that's nice maybe for a short time, but I think when you train techniques, you must use real balls. Techniques is also catch and throw, but in relation with the speed of the ball. Then the tricks and the errors. We have always the trick of the week. That's always nice. That kids can try to do the trick of the week. It's also important that children have the feeling that they can make mistakes. Give them also space at the gym, but also the space in the mind. And a few. This is an example of tricks. That was in the time that we were not allowed to train inside because the pandemic. So we train outside. And all the things are designed by kids. So that's nice. And another thing is the challenge is also very nice. And we had a challenge with you in Finland, and I shall show them. And the kids like challenges. So that's also a trick. So they try it, and they try it. And it's difficult sometimes. And oh no. So this was the challenge, and you did it. And another challenge is this one, and we saw it on Instagram, and the kids want to try it. Oop. And that was the real challenge. So it's very nice to look on maybe Instagram or the platforms to find a really cool, nice challenge and give it to the kids, and they want to try it. So that's also a trick. Kids like tricks, so use it on your trainings. Space is also very important, that kids can make choices on the training, choices between exercises, things like that. Rules, are important, maybe rules in volleyball. But I have only one rule on the training: do normal to each other, and it's also something. It's always no. It's also good to let it go sometimes on the training and give them space at the gym. And this is also space. You see the guy in the blue shirt. And his name is Tim. And I ask him, okay, Tim, play the ball with the bagger, and after that you play with the fingers, and then you hit the ball over the net. And he did something else. After what you see with Tim, you see some other exercises, and he did like this, and it was also nice. Uh, because he played the bagger at the moment, and that was my part, and the rest was his part. So this is a little bit better, but yeah, let them free and let them do some things what they like. Important. Oh, that's not good. English is learning. That's the thing. I think it's important that you show the things and not tell them what they must do. You listen now, maybe to me for 1 hour, but it's better to see it. I think. And also important when the kids are learning to play volleyball that you use the net, because the ball is coming over the net, the ball is coming to the net, goes parallel to the net and goes over the net. So use the net. I think we are very good in don't use the net as coaches. And sometimes when you look to some movies, you can't see that it's a volleyball training. We use little balls, what's it called, beach balls, balloons, things like that. It's very nice, but I think it's more important that you use the net with a real ball, and then you learn in volleyball. And this is an example of learning. So normally we do what you see on this video at the hall, but now you can see what we are doing. Think about the fundamental movement skills and volleyball. This is on the beach, but you can do it also indoor, like this. Look, she's doing. Whoa. So, little example of what we are doing. Always with pairs, and always with some fundamental movement skills, and always bagger, set, and hit. That's what we are doing. When we look to your role as a coach, as a trainer, you are very important because you are the spider in the web. You are the salesman, you are the saleswoman of our sport. You are the entertainer on the training, so you must sell your sport to the kids. You see here, maybe you know the coach. He's a Norway coach. He won gold with the Norway beach volleyballers at Tokyo. But he is also coach for little kids, and he going through his knees, or he tried to do it, and he's on the same level with the kids. And I think when you come at the same level as the kids, you can talk with them and you can ask them what they want to do in the training, and they give you input and you can use it on your trainings. As a coach, you're always in control, I know, but the kids are also sometimes in control. The question is it important that you are a good adult, or is it more important that you are a good technical trainer? And that's that's a difficult question. I think it's more important that you are, first of all, be a good adult, that you take the kids by the hand to the journey of the volleyball, what's it called, career. So I think that's more important than a good trainer. So be a good adult and learn them volleyball. That's also important. But on the same level of them, ask them what they want to do in the training. So this is my last slide. Going fast. What you see here on this picture is a tournament. It's a regular tournament, but at the front you see the white team, and that's a G volleyball team, and they play on a regular tournament, and that's very important. It's very important that everybody find a place in our sport, that every child is very unique, and that unique child always find a place in our unique sport, and everybody must find a way, find a place in our sport. That is my last message to you. So this was my presentation. I don't stop share my screen. Try it. No. Anna, you hear me?
Yes, I do hear you.
So this was my presentation about action volley. Yeah, I hope that you enjoy it and it was a little bit clear. Hopefully my English was good enough to understand it.
Hey, thank you. Is there any questions? Anybody? Any ideas want to share or ask? Now is the time.
Yes, Harry has a question.
Hello.
Thank you, Remco, about the presentation and explaining what you have on in mind. One specific thing to me to ask to you, you mentioned in the one slide the balance as one topic, but how do you see things like outlining or sight of the child in terms of the volleyball? I'm meaning that how important you see the thing that the child is able to see the ball when it comes to you, or the object when it comes to you, and outlining in terms of the game that where I am compared to the other guys in order to create a game.
Yeah. So you mean when the ball is coming over the net to the kid, that they recognize the speed of the ball and things like that?
Correct.
Yeah. Most of the time we play always, and that's my solution, always 2 against 2 or 2 with 2. And then they learn and recognize the ball speed, because I throw the ball over the net most of the time as a coach. And then I can make a choice for a more difficult ball or maybe an easy ball, things like that. And when you play 2 against 2, they play with each other. And so they must play the ball with a backer or something like that, or catch and throw when they are very young. And they play with each other. But also they learn also recognize the speed of the ball, because I throw the ball over the net and I can make a choice for a more difficult ball or an easy ball. So I think when you, as a coach, create a more difficult level for a kid who is very handy with the ball, or maybe a kid who is not so handy, and then you create a more easy level.
Okay.
Is a little bit an answer for you?
Yes. Basically, in terms of teaching skills, I used similar techniques to create a situation that the person is able to find out himself how to fix the situation, or how to fix the touch to the ball so that you can get success. So the success and the joy is the first thing which I'm trying to kind of accomplish when I have a session with kids. So that is the main thing. I don't, to be fair with you, I don't give a shit how the finger thing is or the whatever. At least the most important thing is that the kid hits the ball, touches the ball. That's the main thing, to get the
Yeah,
feeling.
and then fun and also success. What you are saying is also very important. That they can feel the success, and that
Correct.
they go home and they think, oh, it was very good, and
Correct.
I'm a really good volleyball player, or
Yep,
something like
yep.
that. And techniques are also important, but techniques are for young kids also very difficult.
Correct.
Also, in Holland, we do also a lot of trainings at schools,
Mm.
and then yeah, we try to inspire kids to play volleyball, and then they come to the club. But most of the times, we teach them techniques, and
Yep.
that's very difficult for them, and they don't like it.
Yep.
So and now we have another vision at trainings at school. We play games. We play one
Yep.
against one. We play smash ball. That's also popular in Holland. That's hit the ball on the ground, and it's allowed that he's touching the ground one times, and then the kids catching the ball and he throw him up and he hit the ball, and that's very popular. And it's also cool because they can use the smash and they play games, only games, and they like it more than the techniques. And I think techniques is not negative, but it must be always in a good balance with fun and also success. What you are saying.
Yep. Yep. I'm familiar with your smash volleyball thing. What you have, I've seen the videos, and actually, I do have a Finnish version of the rules existing.
Okay.
So it was like 2014 when we found the it was in YouTube. The four levels and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it is good for starters. I give you that.
Also at schools.
I give you that. That is good.
And also in Holland and maybe Finland is more difficult. Maybe outside, but in Holland we play at schoolyards also games.
Yeah.
And also at the schoolyard of my daughter, we give the teacher an elastic band, and he put it at the schoolyard, and they play one against one smash ball.
Yep.
At the break.
Yep.
So that's very nice.
My experience is that especially boys are with the smash ball. They like it when you can smash the ball like no other thing in the world. Just smash the ball. Don't any rules, but just smash the ball.
No rules. You're right. And let it go. Let it go.
Yeah, let it go.
I say always to coaches who do smash ball, okay, let the kids playing, and you're standing in the corner with some coffee and do nothing.
Yeah. Just observe it.
Yeah, let it go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Is there any other questions? Anybody? Jussi, Jouni?
Jussi here. One question. You mentioned this referee thing. In what age do you start to coach referees to volleyball?
Sorry,
to coach referees to volleyball.
Referees?
Referees, yeah. In what age do your young start to referee the games?
Oh, there is a referee by a game, you mean?
Yeah. And what age do you start to coach them and teach them to refer?
Yeah, maybe when we're a referee, I don't know, 12 years old.
12, okay.
When we have games in Holland, when kids are 12 years old, they go to the, what's it called, the youngest department, or the youth department, and then there are referees at.
Okay. Yeah.
At the games, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Here came one question. How many times do you practice usually your teams in a week?
1 hour a week here by my club here in my village. Sometimes 2 times a week, but most of the time 1 hour a week, because we have not so much space anymore. We have 2 hours, and in our first hour there come about 100 kids, and the second hour also 100 kids. So when the first hour is over and the second our starts. There are 200 kids at the gym at the moment because they must change. But it's a very nice energy because we have I think a quite similar hall as you have, and there are 100 kids, and we play with the long net. Maybe you know what it is. And so if we have 3 parts in our hall, and 30 kids there, 30 kids there, and a little bit more than 30 over there, and yeah. There are a lot of kids, I know, but yeah, 1 hour, and some kids train a second time in the week at Wednesday afternoon, also 1 hour, and that's it. And also nice when you see it. So the kids are at the gym, and the parents are upstairs. They drink some coffee, and they see also the trainings, things like that, and it's good that also the parents are there. Because yeah, they make also the decision of a kid is playing volleyball, and there is always also a younger sister or a younger brother. And when I see a younger sister or a younger brother, I say, "Oh, come play volleyball." So yeah, we're growing and we're growing. Yeah.
But is it like that? Because I know you have teams from little kids to like adults, or like really old kids.
Yeah.
That are they everyone together there in this 1 hour?
Yeah, 100 kids in 1 hour, and then we train in 3 parts. So there is their part, their part, their part, and this training I do 30 boys in one time, and there are from 6 years old till 10 years old. And the kids of 10 years old, they play the bugger and they play with the fingers maybe, and they hit the ball. And the youngest kids, they do the same exercise, but they catch and throw, or they try to play the bugger, or catch the ball, throw the ball in the air and play the bugger. And so in one training, there are more, there are more levels. So that's a challenge, but it's good. And it's also normal in Holland.
Okay, so everyone here in Finland, we shouldn't complain.
No.
Tämä on niinku klubi. Siellä niinku, tavallaan se on eri, missä vaiheessa ne alkaa pelaa semmoista, niinku meillä lähdetään aika nopeasti sitten kilpailemaan. Mikä se on, missä vaiheessa siitä tulee semmoinen.
Here came also like question that what is the age that it start to be more serious competition?
10, 12 years old.
Already, okay.
And maybe you think that's strange, but you saw one of my slides, and in one of my slides you saw a picture of a famous volleyball player in Holland, but also he's a good player in the world, and that's Nimir Abdelaziz. And he's coming from my club, and he's a really good volleyball player. And also our first men's team and our first ladies team, they play at the highest level. And also we have a good youth education, but the fundament is kids volley, is mini volleyball, is action volley, and we train a lot of years with this vision. So everybody enjoy, everybody is at the gym, everybody they play volleyball on their own level, in the same training. But the level goes like this. So a young kid is here, and the oldest kids are there. But yeah, seriously, volleyball, yeah, they start with 10, 12 years old. And it works. But there are also other ways, So this is yeah, one of the ways. Sharon, is this good English? One of the possibilities that you can train kids.
Pelaamaan, niin että se pelaa heti niinku yhdellä passarilla, vai jos se kahdella passarilla, vai se olisi kaikki, vai mikä se?
Okay, here the questions continues. When it comes to like this real volleyball 6 against 6.
Yeah.
And the setter, do you start immediately to teach with the one setter system?
No.
Or you go how? No,
we start in Holland, and I don't know if it's the good way. Yeah. But when you go to kids volley, it's 2 against 2, 3 against 2. And then they play, when they are 12 years old, 6 against 6. The Dutch volleyball the Dutch Volleyball Federation want to change it in 4 against 4. So not 6 against 6 anymore, and then later 6 against 6. But we start with setters and with middle blockers or what's it called? I think when they're 14, 60 years old. And then we play without a libero still. That's maybe when they go to the adults teams or maybe when they're 70 years old, 80 years old, then maybe the libero was there. So yeah, everybody gives also a set. I think that's important when you think about multi moves and fundamental movement skills, and also that you are a good mover, that you can do everything. I think also the best volleyball players, they play also other sports. We have a very good setter in our national team. First she was an ice skater, then she was a mountain biker, then she was a handball player, and then she was a volleyball player. So and maybe that's very unique. But my best players, first of all, they were at the gymnastics, and then they go to the volleyball. So yeah, that's our way. And I don't know, it's like this. I don't know. Maybe it's like more like this, but there are more roads to success, I think. Really.
Okay. Interesting.
Thank
Very
you.
interesting. Oh, is there any more questions? Anything? Seems to be.
Anna, I shall send you the presentation in English.
Yeah.
I sent you the levels where I talk about it because there was a little bit to explain in the presentation. I sent you the rules of the hot seat when you like it. Maybe you heard about it because it's coming from Norway. And I've write the Action Volley handbook. Maybe I send it to you.
That I have already.
Yeah. But there is now, I think at the end of the year, an officially English translation without errors.
Okay.
Because I translated in Google Translate, and yeah, that's not so good. So our Volleyball Federation translated in English now.
Okay, that is
So
cool.
when I have it, I send it to you, and then you can send it to
I share it here.
to everybody who you want. So
Okay, that is awesome.
okay, thank you. It was clear, a little bit clear what you saw.
I think yes.
It was, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot. It was good.
Thank you.
A lot.
I like it.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Anna, I have a question for you, please.
Tell me.
You write me by messenger your question.
Yeah, just wait. I turn off the recording.
No, it's